Did you know John doesn't like chocolate? What a weirdo! I'm glad you're here because today I want to teach you some fun and interesting ways to describe the people in your life. There would have to be hundreds of idioms to use to describe people, but I've narrowed it down and picked 10 that you might like to use to describe a family member, a friend, a neighbour, or a colleague. These words and phrases won't be in your average textbook, so have your notepad and pen handy to take some notes. And because I'm Australian, I will teach you a bonus phrase right at the end that will earn you a lot of respect and credibility in Australia if you ever use it to someone's face. All right then, let's get into it. The first one on the list is a people person. This is the idiomatic way to describe someone who loves talking to people, being around people, and meeting people. They're good at dealing with other people. They're often outgoing and a good listener. More formally, in a business situation, you'd say they'd have good interpersonal skills. Do you know someone who is a people person? Are you perhaps a people person? Scatterbrain. This description is for a person who is disorganized and forgetful. If you think of the verb to scatter, it means to place things randomly with no particular order, or it's when things go in different directions. That summarizes a scatterbrain, a person whose thoughts are all over the place, someone who doesn't concentrate well and, might forget things. If I'm being honest, I can be a bit of a scatterbrain at times. I'm the kind of person who loses glasses only to find them on my head the whole time. And also maybe the kind of person who keeps losing keys, but I'll find them in my pocket later. Do you know this kind of person? A scatterbrain? These next two words describe a person who works, but they are quite different in nuance. So let me explain this one. The first of these words is a workaholic. Much like an alcoholic drinks too much alcohol, a workaholic works too much. But in this case, being called a workaholic is not a positive description. A workaholic works at the expense of their health and time with their friends and family. They work to excess, and this is not a good thing. But if you say someone is a hard worker, then this is a positive description. This has an image of someone putting in a lot of good energy. They are reliable and diligent and committed to their work. It's a compliment to be called a hard worker. Do you know people who are workaholics or hard workers? While we're on the topic of work, there is another positive description you can use. A team player. If you describe someone as a team player in a work environment, it means they are cooperative, collaborative, and work well with others. It's an admirable quality. Would you describe yourself as a team player? One more description that kind of relates to work is a go-getter. A person described as a go-getter is extremely ambitious, works hard to succeed, knows what they want, and goes and gets it, hence the term a go-getter. For example, my brother is a go-getter. He started his business at just 19 years of age, and he now employs 300 people across the country to help him run his business. Drama queen. It sounds royal, but it's not. This is not a positive description of a person. A drama queen, and this can be describing a male or female, is someone who is overly dramatic and overly emotional to small events and experiences. They overreact and make a big deal over things that seem insignificant. And drama queens often do this for the attention. So in that respect, they are attention seekers. It's definitely not a compliment. Do you know any drama queens in your life? I think my sister is a bit of a drama queen, just between you and me. A heart of gold. This is a really lovely description for a person. You would use this phrase by saying someone has a heart of gold. Quite simply, for example, my grandmother has a heart of gold. And what this means is that they are extremely kind and generous and would do anything for you or others. Would you say that you know anyone with a heart of gold? This next description is a whole phrase, and I do believe it's used primarily in Australia and the UK. If you want to describe someone who is always forthcoming with opinions, they're not embarrassed easily about asking the tough questions, and they might seem a bit pushy, then you can say that this person is not backward in coming forward. It's a bit of an unusual one. Not backward in coming forward. It means they are not shy to say what they think. So, for example, yesterday, Greg straight out told the boss that he wanted a pay rise. He's not backward in coming forward, you know, and I kind of admire him for that. Do you know someone who is not backward in coming forward? Weirdo comes from the word weird, and the nuance of this word changes with context. So in its typical use, a weirdo is a negative word to describe a person who is strange and behaves strangely. For example, did you see that weirdo in the street yesterday harassing everyone who walked past? So that's in its negative nuance, but you can use this in a friendly way to describe someone's behaviour. So for example, did you know John doesn't like chocolate? What a weirdo! Because we assume everyone likes chocolate. Do you know anyone who you'd describe as a weirdo? Okay, now time for the bonus Aussie description. The word is legend. And here, this word is a huge compliment. We'll use this word to express our gratitude. So let's say your car has a flat tire and you're on the side of the road waiting for help, and someone comes and stops and changes your tire. You can say to the person, "Thank you so much, you are a legend." The translation is something like, "You're awesome and I appreciate what you've done for me." If you have time, why don't you stick around and watch another English lesson? I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.